Hello team, Shawna L here. Today is February 16th, 2023. This is episode 26 with Queen Elizabeth. We're channeling Queen Elizabeth here almost daily. It was a rough day today with the Queen. Excuse me. Kind of had a couple of starts and stops. I only had like 3 hours for her early this afternoon. We spoke for a few sentences and then she didn't come through for an hour. And I'm like, hello, is anybody here? And I was running out of time because I had a one-on-one session and finally got, I think, 2 hours into this with her first session without a whole lot coming through. And I said, why don't we just postpone this and I'll pick this up after my one-on-one. So tonight at like 8 p.m. I sat down and it was another 2.5 hours and just trying my patience on every level. And I'm just tired and I'm hungry and I wasn't expecting this, and just these long, huge pauses in between sentences. And I checked in with Melchizedek on this too, and they've said this to me a couple of times. This is how she works. She is taking her time to pick the right words to be able to explain what she wants to explain and how she wants to explain it. You know, it's interesting. Besides speaking to my mom and dad on the other side, this is really the only, you know, quote unquote deceased person that I have channeled that I know of. Everybody else has been ascended masters or angels or galactic in nature. And maybe this is kind of how it goes, but she's taking her time. You know, she's not rushing through this. At the end of the day today, I mean, working with Melchizedek and with Elizabeth, I need to start allotting 4 hours for my conversation with her just to be on the safe side. I need to make sure I'm well rested and that I'm not going to be hungry. It is not easy to hold space and be attentive, ready for the next words for an hour. So yeah, I'm like so done today. I'm so done with this. So what we ended up doing is finally tonight at like 11:15, I'm like, why don't we just pick this up tomorrow? And she said, yes, let's do that. So we kind of cut today's off a little short and then we'll pick it up tomorrow. So consider this to be part 1. And then tomorrow, assuming all goes well, we'll hit part 2 of this. Okay. All right. So she said here early today, she said, we make this partnership today in the hopes that tomorrow will bring peace and joy and an understanding that really has not been achievable until now. Everything that we do together, she said, will have a ripple effect downstream. That is difficult to comprehend right now. I know I've said this before, but it's worth repeating. Much of the impact from having this information disclosed will be inaccessible to current human consciousness. So this is way bigger than just kind of what we're trying to do here, get our arms around this. We're talking about something on a galactic scale, a huge scale here. And it's not just humanity on Earth that have been exploited by these reptilian races. It's all kinds of people and beings in this quadrant of the universe, or the galaxy, however you want to say that. So we're not the only rodeo in town for these guys. But it's a huge milestone, I guess. This is like a big deal in the grander scheme of things, even though it may not seem like it here, at least right now where we're at, or maybe even where we're going. So she's just reiterating this point, and I'd heard that before. And she continued here, Shawna, the request here is that you do not fret and you do not worry yourself about the level of changes that can be observed directly as a result of our work together. Please do not fret about the relatively short-term pain that may be felt as a result of the negativity that will be coming at you due to this work. She said here, but instead rest easy, knowing that what we all are setting out to accomplish together has much wider impacts and effects than what can be perceived locally. Okay. And then an hour went by. Oh, I just realized I didn't have my microphone on. Let me plug this in. Okay, hopefully it's better. So, and I'm just like, hello, Elizabeth, are you still there? She says, yes, I am. One more moment. I'm like, okay. And then a half hour would go by and I'm like, are you okay? Just making sure you're still there. She said, thank you, Shawna. It's the phraseology. I'm just wanting it to be right and really reflecting what I want to say and how I want to communicate and to accurately represent my feelings. I mean, imagine, I don't know how long Elizabeth has been a reptilian. I mean, and we know that has feelings, lots of feelings. And, you know, it was the love that really, and the bond with her children that really kept her, you know, feeling connected to the human race and not really identifying with the negative reptilians. And I think it's a big part of why she's decided to bag all that and come to the light. But, you know, she didn't do a whole lot of interviews as queen. I mean, like none. She got up and did a few addresses, you know, kind of pre-scripted, pre-planned addresses, but she really was not an extemporaneous speaker. You know, she didn't do big, long interviews with people. And so I think we're getting to know her a little bit more, at least how she was as Elizabeth. And, you know, hasn't been off the planet that long. So I think there's some residual effects of that personality and that control that was always in her world. So here we are, you know, probably getting into more of the nitty gritty too, some of the bigger things, now that the basics are out of the way in terms of disclosure. And she just really wants to do a good job. I'm like, okay. All right. So I said, that's fine. I'm like, do you want to resume at a later time? She said, yes, let's do that. Okay. All right. She said, thank you, Shawna, for the extra time to allow me to be better prepared for our time together. I said, you're so welcome. And I had asked you, would you rather meet in the evenings than in the morning? Should we do this every other day instead of every day to give you more time? And she's like, you know, she says, well, I didn't ask her. I asked Melchizedek about going to an every other day cadence, and they said, no, let's keep the daily. But in terms of morning versus evening, she said, Shawna, I have no preference. Please, whatever works best for you and your schedule, I will do my best to accommodate it. I said, okay. She said, Shawna, we have a monarchy here that really knows no bounds. Right and wrong, morals, integrity. In outwardly appearance, of course, the monarchy tries diligently to uphold the image of all these things. But in reality, outside of the public view, this is a monarchy that is not playing by those rules. They are able to stretch and manipulate and shape their reality to fit the agenda of the negative reptilian regime. Impropriety, rampant of course. There's no mercy shown if something or someone is in their way. And remember, Shawna, I'm referring to the monarchy, those in the monarchy who are part of the negative reptilian hive mind collective. And again, she said, these people are not working on behalf of their own free will, not in a way that you and I would understand. She said here, they are in alignment with a force much greater than them, who has finally crafted their control mechanisms through the hive mind concept. She said here, for many in the monarchy behind the scenes, it's like the wild, wild west. No laws, no real governance or oversight. Those with the biggest guns get to do whatever they please, and they'll make up the rules as they go. The negative reptilian regime, controlling those in the monarchy and others through the hive mind mechanism, want just a few key things. She said here, by keeping focused on just a few simple concepts, they stay efficient and they stay effective. She describes what those three things are. She says these three things include, number one, direct and clear access to fear energy, the luge. Number 2, creating a destabilizing existence so that individuals are unable to raise their consciousness. And number 3, unfettered access to key players on the world stage. It's like not even access, it's like just creating these through bloodline, you know? So they're already, everybody in this bloodline, this negative reptilian bloodline, are already in these key positions at the top of the hierarchy, right? She said fear, destabilization, and control. That all makes sense. And she said here, and although this is very serious business to them, they've also made quite a sport out of this game, this very high stakes game. For many who are inside the bubble, this lawless bubble, anything goes and often does. The powers that be, the ones calling all the shots. You know, it seems to me, I mean, this definitely seems to resonate. There's like all of us here, you know, all of us folks on the planet, the bulk of the people. Then you've got like the 0.01%, the richest folks here, the leaders, you know, 0.5%, whatever that is, really controlling things. And I feel like laws don't apply to these guys. They operate outside of the law. You know, they are doing their own thing with their own agendas, their own rules, and the person with the biggest gun wins. Really, yeah, fascinating. All right. How might one be able to tell, she said, if someone is of the negative reptilian hive-mind family? And she said here, in many cases, there'd be no way to tell. No outwardly distinguishing characteristics, no differences in mannerisms, no distinguishable physical characteristics. By outward appearances, there's not much here to distinguish a hive-mind human from a regular human. I do know that she said they tend to keep to themselves a little bit more and they live a long time. But generally she's saying there's nothing here specific. And then she said, she added to this, this may be a major contributing factor in people's ability to believe in and accept these truths. For all intents and purposes, most people can't tell the difference. Yeah. All right. Man, we had just another long stretch of nothing, like an hour of that. And that's when I had checked in with Melchizedek, like what is going on here? Should we change our daily cadence to every other day? You know, this is taking some time here. I'm really trying to be focused. It's just getting so late and I'm tired, you know, and I hadn't really planned for this marathon session today. And they gave me an image of her, like as the queenly self in her beautiful little outfit and her white hair, sitting at a desk, like frantically writing stuff out in a letter and holding it up and reading it, bringing it back down and scribbling something out and rewriting it. So they're trying to give me an idea of what her process is for this, like in a human world. So I'm like, okay. I said, it's been an hour and 45 minutes since we spoke last. I really tried. I said, you know, please, can you please, you know, can we continue here? You know, and she said, thank you so much, Shawna, for your patience. I'm just being a stickler for my words right now. And I honestly just want to be sure that I am fairly and accurately representing all sides of the issues we speak about while still being true to my emotions and feelings. It's a delicate balance. I said, it certainly is, Elizabeth. All right. Then there was a couple more sentences here. We're going to wrap this up. She said, the negative reptilian Mountbattens, having reigned in their own right for hundreds of years, have done many depraved things, as I have explained before. However, she said, I'd like to be crystal clear that this has been perpetrated at the direction of the negative reptilian overlords. She said, the Windsors, it's the same idea. All right. And that's when we just decided, there was another big pause here. And I'm just like, let's pick this up tomorrow if she's okay with that. And she said, yes, let's do that. All right. So we'll pick up the conversation here with the Windsors and Mountbattens if that's what she wants to do tomorrow. Thanks, team, for being here. Thanks for all your beautiful comments and all your questions. Keep them coming. Hopefully, I think they know your questions. I think they're that tuned in. And I think that Elizabeth is getting some help in formatting and processing everything that she's got going on so that she can explain to us, in her terms what's been going on. So patience. All right, team, I love you. Have a great day, night, morning, wherever you're at in the world. And I shall see you all tomorrow. I love you. Mwah.